Hello learners, I am Dr. Vishal Sood, teacher educator. As you know that for the achievement of the target of universal primary education, a number of projects, a number of programs, a number of efforts have been made by different state governments and the union government so that this target could be achieved with satisfactory quality. In this unit, you have studied about Bihar Education Project, UP Basic Education Project, Shiksha Karmi model and Lok Jumbish project in the state of Rajasthan. In the similar lines, today we are going to learn about certain programs or projects which are specific to the state of Maharashtra. So, today we will learn about different programs and projects started for achievement of the target of universal elementary education, and these projects were started in the state of Maharashtra. So, our points for discussion in today's presentation will remain as follows. First, we will discuss about the schemes for socially deprived children. Then, we will discuss about the schemes for girl child. Then, the schemes for economically backward children, that is EBC, will be discussed. Then the schemes or the scholarships or welfare programs for the distant area children in the state of Maharashtra will be discussed, and then we will discuss different welfare programs for out of school children in the state of Maharashtra, and in the last the schemes for physically handicapped children and the children of Devdasi community, they will be discussed. So, our main focus on today's presentation will remain on these points which you can see on the screen. So, first of all, the schemes for socially deprived children. As you can see on the screen that for socially deprived children, these socially deprived children include scheduled caste children, children belonging to the scheduled tribes, children belonging to the backward classes, or the tribal children. So, these constitute socially deprived children in the state of Maharashtra. For these SC, ST and nomadic and caste and tribes, the different schemes had been launched by the state of Maharashtra to achieve the target of universal elementary education. These schemes included the free uniform and the textbooks to the children of these communities. Then boarding houses have been established for the children of these schools. Then there was book bank facility for the children of these communities. Ashram schools, ashram shalas have been established for the children of these community. Then allowances for attendance. If a child is attending school regularly, then special allowances are given to those children to motivate them to come to the school and to retain them in the schools. And stipends are also given to the children of these communities up to 10th class so that they can come in the mainstream, so that they can join the mainstream in the process of development. So, in the picture you can see there are 6 different schemes, there are 6 different steps which have been taken by the state of Maharashtra for the welfare of socially deprived children and for achievement of the target of universal elementary education. Now, as you can see on the screen, there are 2 pictures. One is depicting the free textbooks to the children and other is the ashram schools which are established in the state of Maharashtra, where elementary education is provided to the children of SC, ST community and nomadic people. Now, in these 2 next pictures, you can see there is provision of book bank facility, library facility in the schools. Libraries or book banks have been created for the betterment of these children. Nutritive diet is provided to such children so that they can develop in a proper manner both physically and mentally. So, these are the schemes for socially deprived children in the state of Maharashtra for the achievement of the target of universal elementary education. Now, next is schemes for girls. For the improvement of girls' education in the state of Maharashtra, different schemes had been launched in that state. These schemes mainly included the allowance for attendance, Samuh Nivasi schools, Matru Prabodhan project and free travelling for the rural girls. These are the major schemes which had been launched by the state of Maharashtra for the upliftment of girls' education in the state. Now, what these schemes signify? As far as allowance for attendance is concerned, this scheme is to reduce the dropout in standard 1st to 4th, and all the girls from backward classes are given 1 rupee per day as allowance if they are present for 75% working days in the school. So, the girls who are attending the schools regularly and those girls who belong to the backward classes, they are given this allowance. Then the second scheme, that is the free travelling scheme for girls by Ahilyabai Holkar. In 1997, the government of Maharashtra started this scheme. This scheme is the free travelling for the girls in rural areas. Those girls residing in the rural areas and were not able to travel a long distance. For them, there was the provision of free travelling so that they could not be deprived of their education. So, free travelling scheme was launched for the girl students. Then the third scheme for girls education is Matru Prabodhan project. This program was arranged to educate the mothers of the girl child about the children education, their health and personal development. So, Matru Prabodhan project means that is directly interacting with the mothers, of the child so that they can be made aware about the education and health and hygiene and personal development of their children. Then an army school has also been established at Bhor at Nasik. Here the girls are also given stipend and they are given also training, and if they are found physically fit, they can continue in the field of armed forces after getting training from this school. And this army school has been established specifically for the girl child. Then another scheme for girls is Samuh Nivasi school. This Samuh Nivasi schools are for the girls from the remote areas who are unable to reach school due to long distances. Due to long distance between their home and the school, these Samuh Nivasi schools have been established in the state of Maharashtra so that girl child could not be deprived from the elementary education. So, these were the schemes for the girl child in the state of Maharashtra for achieving the target of universal elementary education. Now, the schemes for economically backward children. What schemes have been implemented in the state of Maharashtra for the welfare, for the education of economically backward classes? These schemes mainly included the scholarships for the EBC students, the bookbank scheme, the third is Savitribai Phule parent adoption scheme, and the fourth is provision of nutritive diet to the children belonging to the economically backward classes. So, these were the major schemes for the education, for the welfare of economically backward children. You can see on the screen that the scholarship scheme was started in 1978 for the talented and economically backward students at higher secondary level, in which rupees 70 are given to boys and rupees 80 are given to girls as a means of scholarship. Then another scholarship is EBC scholarship. This EBC scholarship is economically backward classes scholarship. This scheme was started by the state of Maharashtra in 1956 for the students with 75% attendance and passed every year. Means there should be no failure in any class of any boy or the girl, and whose parents have yearly or the annual income of rupees 15,000 are awarded this scholarship. EBC scholarship is given to such students. Then nutritive diet provision has been made for the children belonging to the EBC classes. This project was started in 1995 by Village Development Committee, and every child who was attending school regularly was provided with nutritive diet in the recess period for their better physical development. Then another scheme for economically backward children was the Savitribai Phule Parent Adoption Scheme. This scheme was started in 1993. According to this scheme, the principal, officers and any member of the society can adopt any of the girls and give the help of minimum 30 rupees every month up to 7th class. This scheme was launched because some parents, due to their poverty, were not able to send their girl child to the schools. So this scheme was launched in the state of Maharashtra, in which the principal, the officers, the teachers or any member of the society can adopt the girls for their education, and minimum 30 rupees every month up to 7th class to these girls are provided as scholarship, as incentive to those girls. So these were the schemes which were meant for economically backward children. Now you can see nutritive diet is provided in the state of Maharashtra, scholarship is provided to the economically backward children in the state of Maharashtra. Now the schemes for distant area children. Now we will discuss about those schemes which had been launched by the state of Maharashtra for the children belonging to the distant areas. These schemes were started in 1970 for the remote area children, for the backward area children, and these schemes included nutritive diet scheme, the project for tribal languages, the child education project, that is CAPE project, then Quran Shala, Vidya Niketan was another scheme which was launched for the children belonging to the remote areas or the distant areas. Then Ashram Shala scheme was also launched in the state of Maharashtra for the children belonging to distant area, belonging to the remote area. So these were 6 schemes which had been launched for the education of distant area children. Now what these schemes were, we will discuss about those. The nutritive diet scheme. The nutritive diet scheme, this scheme was for the children in the age group of 6 years and less, and this scheme was launched in Anganwadi and Balwadi Kendras. Midday meal is also provided to the students from class 1 to 8 under the scheme of midday meals scheme launched by the central government of India. Then Ashram Shalas. Ashram Shalas are the schools for the poor children who cannot attend school due to their poor economic status. They are enrolled in ashram schools and they are provided with free boarding facility, free lodging facility and free uniforms, as well as the free textbooks and stationery articles are provided to the students in ashram shalas. These schools run classes from standard 1st to 8th, and there are 2 types of ashram shalas. One is basic ashram shalas, which are run for class 1st to 7th, and para basic ashram shala. The second type of ashram shala is para basic ashram shala, which runs classes from 8th to 10th. So these ashram shalas, in these ashram shalas, free boarding, free lodging, free uniform, free textbook are provided to the students belonging to the poor parents. Then another scheme for the children of distant area, for the children of remote area was Vidya Niketan. This Vidya Niketan is an institute which was established for the talented tribal students. The tribal students who are talented, this school was established in Kelapur, Yavatmal district in 1981. The students are given free education in this school, which is known as Vidya Niketan school. A separate school, a separate Vidya Niketan has also been established in the state of Maharashtra, particularly for girl children, and there the tribal girl students who are talented, they are provided free education for their educational upliftment. Then Quran Shala. Quran Shala, it is a mobile school that impart non-formal education. Non-formal education, the children who cannot attend regular school, those children are provided training on moving basis, and the teacher move with those students to the forest areas or wherever they go, and teacher impart them education about health, about cleanliness, about values, and about the benefits of education. The teacher moves along with the students in a Quran Shala, which is a mobile school, and this scheme has been launched for the children of the remote area, children of the distant area in the state of Maharashtra. Now you can see this, the above picture is of an ashram shala, and here in ashram shala the children are studying coming from the remote areas, distant areas. This, the above picture, this one is a moving school. Moving school in a bus where where the children are being educated by a teacher, and this teacher also moves along with the students. And in the picture which is given at the bottom, you can see that is the moving school unit, where the children are being educated, where the children are being imparted training in health, hygiene, and other life skills. So these are the schemes for the education, for the betterment of the children belonging to the remote areas, belonging to the distant areas in the state of Maharashtra. Now we will discuss about the schemes for out of school children in the state of Maharashtra. A number of schemes have been launched by the state of Maharashtra for the education of out of school children. These schemes mainly included Vasti Shala, remedial teaching classes, a CAPE project, Sakhar Shalas, Indus Child Labour Project, and the bridge schools. So these were the main 6 schemes which had been launched by the state of Maharashtra for the education of out of school children, so that the objective of universal elementary education could be achieved in a satisfactory manner. Now what these schemes were actually? These schemes, the bridge school, in the bridge school the students who leave their studies and did not come to school, forgot studies to some extent, were the main subjects of this program. In these bridge schools, those students, those children who on account of one reason or account of other reason were not able to attend the regular schools and had dropped out from the formal schooling, they were covered under these bridge schools. In these bridge schools, 45-day training, 45 days education is provided to such students, and after completion of this period of about 45 days, they were sent to the admission in the regular primary or the secondary schools. And one more interesting thing about these bridge schools is that the syllabi of these schools and the curriculum of these schools is specific. Specific textbooks had been developed for the children who are attending these schools, so that they can come to the satisfactory level where they had left their studies, and then they can complete their studies in regular or formal primary or the secondary schools. Another project was Indus Child Labour Project. This child labour project was to root out the child labour tradition and bring the children from the labor class or the children who are working and bring them back to the mainstream of education. This project was implemented in 5 districts of Maharashtra, and these 5 districts were Gondia, Amravati, Jalna, Aurangabad and Mumbai. So this Indus Child Labour Project was launched in these 5 districts in the state of Maharashtra, so that the children who were working in one occupation or who were involved in the other occupation, they were provided education under this project. And this project was implemented through voluntary cooperation, through the cooperation of NGOs. Another scheme for these children, that is Vasti Shala. Vasti Shala was the primary schools which were imparting informal education in hilly, tribal and remote areas where there is no school within a radius of 1 kilometer. Although under the target of universal primary education, there was a provision, there is a provision of establishing primary school within a radius of 1 kilometer and an upper primary school within a radius of 3 kilometers. But in case of hilly areas, in case of tribal areas and in case of remote areas where the school is not available within the specified distance, within the specified radius, for those children, for those areas, Vasti Shalas have been established in the state of Maharashtra, and in these Vasti Shalas, the syllabi of classes 1 to 4 is taught to the students so that they can compete with the students of the other schools, other formal system students. Then another project was in the state of Maharashtra was CAPE project. This project was for the out of school children who belong to the age group of 6 to 14 years. The state government of Maharashtra, in assistance with UNICEF in 1981, started this project, which was called as Primary Education for All project. CAPE project was also known as Primary Education for All project. Then for the children belonging to the sugarcane laborers, the state of Maharashtra has established Shakhar Shalas. These Shakhar Shalas were the schools in the settlements of sugarcane cutters which intend to provide primary education to the children of sugarcane laborers because their parents are involved in the sugarcane fields and the migration of those parents to the factory areas on a regular basis from one place to another place for a longer period, their children are deprived of education. For imparting education to the children of these laborers of sugar cane industry, those Shakhar Shalas have been established in the state of Maharashtra so that the target of universal elementary education could be achieved and their access could be made to the primary education. All the children could be enrolled in the schools through different means, and that one mean for sugarcane laborers, their children was the Shakhar Shalas which were established in the state of Maharashtra. These Shakhar Shalas were also known as second semester schools. Second semester schools because the Shakhar Shalas or the sugarcane industry doesn't operate for the whole of the year. It operates only for certain period of months, and after that the sugarcane industry comes to an end. So these are also called as second semester schools where the education is provided to the children of sugarcane laborers for a period of 6 months. So this was the scheme for out of school children of the sugarcane laborers. Now you can see in these two pictures, the above picture is related to Indus child labor project where the children are imparted education through different means, where the children are involved in cultural function, different cultural activities are organized for these children. And in the bottom picture you can see that there is provision of education in this child labor for the child labor. Now these are the two pictures from the Shakhar Shalas. One, a teacher is imparting the education to the children of the sugarcane laborers, and in the bottom picture a celebration, a function is being organized in a Shakhar Shala in the state of Maharashtra. So these are the ways which are being implemented in the state of Maharashtra to impart education to the children of the sugarcane laborers. Now, were the schemes for the handicapped children and Devdasi children. You can see on the screen that different schemes had been launched by the state of Maharashtra for the children who are handicapped or who belong to the Devdasi community. These schemes included education of physically handicapped children through non-formal means. Then the education of disabled children through establishment of special schools and the schemes for children of Devdasi community. Now, as far as the educational schemes for physically handicapped children are concerned, different non-formal measures had been taken by the state of Maharashtra. Alternative schooling system had been created in the state to impart education to these children. And then for the education of disabled children or those disabled children who are other than physically handicapped children, for them special schools have been established by the state of Maharashtra, just like special schools for deaf children, special schools for dumb and blind children. So these schools have been specially established where the children, these disabled children, are imparted education, are imparted special training so that they can come into the mainstream. Now, learners, we will discuss about the educational schemes for the community of Devdasi children. The children of Devdasi and Virangana community, these schemes mainly included Free Pass Yojana, Women Prabodhan Program, boarding school, those are known as Snehalayas, then Book Bank Yojana, attendance allowance and nutritional meals to the children of these community. So you can see on the screen that different schemes have been launched for the children of Devdasi and Virangana. Now, these are the pictures from the schools which has been specifically established for the children of Devdasi community. Actually, this Devdasi community is a negative social tradition which needs to be abolished from its roots. But still it is prevailing in the state of Maharashtra, and the children who are being discriminated, children who belong to these communities, they are being discriminated. For them, these special schools have been established which are known as Snehalayas, where the children from these communities are imparted education so that they can come into the mainstream, so that they can contribute towards the national development. You can see in these pictures how these children are happy in these schools and getting education for their upliftment. So, the learners, today we discussed about different schemes which have been launched in the state of Maharashtra for the upliftment of children belonging to different communities. Those different communities included socially deprived sections of the society, out of school children in the state of Maharashtra, the children belonging to Devdasi community and the children who are from working class. I hope, learners, that you have understood about all these schemes in a better way. Thank you very much.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े